Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Number. Today, we are going to be continuing our summer series and have a special guest, Braden Shewmake, who was a very successful baseball player here at Texas A&M and is also a very successful baseball player now moving into his professional career. So, Braden, thank you so much for being here today. We're so excited to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's gonna be a good time.
Yes, it will be.
It will. We're excited to jump into conversation. But for those who don't know, Braden was at Texas A&M from 2017 to 2019 before he got drafted to the Atlanta Braves and has recently made his debut this summer. So Braden, first question we always like to ask our guests is kind of tell us about your journey to A&M. Like what made you really want to go to A&M to start at the collegiate level of baseball, at least?
So it's actually kind of funny. Half of my family went to A&M, and the other half went to Texas. It's my extended
Oh,
family.
wow, split family.
So yeah, big time. So every Thanksgiving, all the kids would kind of sit in the middle, and then half the room was orange and half the room was maroon. So as a kid, you never really knew who you wanted to root for. My parents didn't have any. They didn't lean one way or the other, so I was kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. But with all my family doing both of those, I grew up watching Texas baseball and A&M baseball, and I never ever liked the way that Texas played baseball. So I always leaned towards A&M. So anyway, so I grew up doing all that stuff, and finally I got a phone call, did the whole recruiting process, and A&M was the first school to actually offer me. And that's when before my dad and I drove off campus, I looked at him and said, I think this is where I want to go. And then it was kind of that was it from there. So very fortunate, obviously, and really glad that I didn't have to go to the other school.
Yeah, I feel like that's the first split household story
I
that we've
know,
heard.
yeah.
It always ends, no matter what the story is, it always ends in the same way. I came to A&M and M and it felt like home. I wanted to go there.
Yes,
I think that's the ending to everyone's recruiting story, but that has to be the first split family household that we've heard. So I'm happy you chose
that's so
A&M.
funny.
I'm glad that you
Yes,
chose
me
A&M.
too.
So let's talk about that, your time here, your experience. So you played 2 seasons, correct? Two or three?
Three,
3 seasons.
three.
So what was that experience like for you? Let's kind of start like beginning freshman year. What was that transition like from high school, then moving on to college? And what was that first season like for you?
Well, it was kind of really just got thrown into the fire because when we came in our recruiting class, we had a bunch of pitchers, and not really. I think we only had three, four, five position players, and a couple of them were outfielders. And knowing that when we came in, that there was a lot of guys that were graduating or getting drafted, so there was going to have to be some contributions from freshmen, and we just obviously we didn't know who that was going to be. But knowing that you have that opportunity is really cool. Like you come into college, you're not sure what to expect. You go through practices, you think you're playing well, you don't really know what everybody thinks of you one way or the other. I mean, you guys have been through it. You
Mm-hmm.
know exactly what that feels like. Your first. I guess for you guys, it's the spring, right?
Yeah.
First spring
Yeah,
in.
Well,
Yeah. So
yeah. We
you
came
don't have
early.
any idea really what to expect. You don't really know what's going on. Um, so then the season rolled around, and I looked up and looked in the lineup card, and I was playing second base, and they threw me in the 3 hole. So I was like, "Whoa, all right, here we go. Just gonna get thrown into the fire, and here we're gonna see what we can do." But luckily, everything I was able to. I mean, talking to my dad and talking to the coaching staff and all that stuff, that was kind of the biggest piece going into my freshman year. So freshman year went well, and then it kind of everything took off from there.
Braden, I was going to ask, because you kind of broke up a little bit when talking about your dad, but that was going to be my follow-up question is, did you have like a teammate or person that like kind of kept you grounded in terms of like your confidence as a player and kind of moving up the ranks throughout your career at Texas A&M? Because like you said, it is hard, especially coming in as a freshman and kind of just getting thrown into it. And then
mm-hmm.
you kind of like got to figure it out for yourself from there on.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously my best friend Logan Foster, that kid is he's a special human being, and you guys know that. But he was also another one of the freshmen that got thrown into the fire. I mean, I think it was the first or second series of the year we were hitting second and third, both as freshmen, and we were kind of looking at each other like, what in the world did we get ourselves into here? So really being able to lean on him and talk to him and be able to answer any questions that he had was it was nice for the both of us, I think, to be able to do it and go through it together and not feel like you were alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At what point would you feel like throughout your career did you feel the most established kind of within collegiate athletics? I feel like it takes time to really feel like you've established your position, your spot. So when was that for you?
Well, it actually, I feel like took longer than maybe for some others, just because I did start at second base my freshman year, but then I switched over and played shortstop the last 2 years. So just moving positions, and yeah, shortstop was a position that I'd played kind of my whole life growing up, but doing it at the collegiate level is a little bit different. So kind of trying to reestablish yourself. I had a good idea that I was going to move over to shortstop, but I knew that if I needed to fall back and play second base again, then I could do that. So from that standpoint, I would say after my freshman year, I knew I could play second base again. Now, it probably took another half of the season or so till I was really fully comfortable playing shortstop again, just because it had been a little bit of time since I'd done that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always, because you said you got thrown in at freshman year, so like playing pro, has that always been on your mind, like growing up, or was it something that kind of developed as you started to feel established at Texas A&M and kind of building that confidence and people maybe telling you like, hey, you can do it, like, or was that something that you kind of dreamed for yourself?
I mean, in high school, I had a couple of different teams that I talked to, but nothing super serious. They were kind of like, "Hey, we have our eye. You're on the radar. This thing, this, that, and the other." And then I went to Tampa to a pre-draft workout. Actually, it was with the New York Yankees, and I went to the backfields where they have all their rookie ball games and everything going, and so they're walking us through there, and I don't think I heard a single word of English spoke. It was all Latin guys that were way bigger than I was. And I
Yeah.
looked at my dad and said, "I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to school. I can't do this right now." So he was 100% behind me on that. And that car ride right after we went there is when I called Coach Seeley, Coach Bolt, and told him I was coming to school. So
Aw.
I told him I was coming to school. And then at that point, like I said, I was pursue and continue to do kind of after my freshman year, and just putting a good year together.
So we've also heard that your dad was a special person to you throughout your time in college. We know of another special person to you throughout your time in college. To us, we knew her as Emily Bates, obviously now Emily Shewmake. So for anyone who doesn't know, she played collegiate soccer at A&M. So we have that little A&M love story happening here. So let's talk about that for you. I mean, and I'm sure for Emily it was the same, but what was it like having a person next to you who had a similar understanding for that like collegiate grind and how difficult it can be?
Oh, I mean, I've always told people the biggest reason that Emily and I worked so well was because that we both understood the time that we had to put into what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
There was always something that needed to be done, whether it was school stuff or whether it was playing. So we kind of understood that we needed time, we needed some separation at times to get things done. Um, so that was really one big thing that I think helps us a lot, and it really helps us now that, I mean, I'm gonna jump forward here now that we got the little one at home, but it really helps to know that we have that I can handle my business, I can do what I need to do, she can handle hers, and then we can both at separate times be able to take care of the boy at home.
Oh.
So that was kind of the biggest thing, but I think my favorite part about college was coming to soccer games, though. Not gonna lie to you,
Yeah.
Braden was like our biggest fan. He was always in the stands, like yelling
I
so
didn't
loud,
miss a home
always had
game.
your
I didn't
gear
miss a home
on.
game.
You never missed a home game. And even away games, I remember like, I
Never
think it was
missed a
like
home game.
after SEC tournament, we lost, and you were there when the bus came back from campus with like donuts in your hand, just
Aw.
waiting for us or something. I think it was
Yeah,
donuts. I don't know what it
me.
was.
It was me, Logan, Michael Hellman. Hal had donuts.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
And
so
Kit, and Kit.
nice.
And Kit was with us
Yes.
too. I think Donovan might have been there too.
I think so. Yeah, it was so cute. We
That's
were like,
so
oh,
The crew trying to
nice.
grab donuts.
yeah, it was a
Yeah,
good
so I
pick me
did
up.
get to see the SEC championship. I was there for that. The one you won it. I also
Oh,
did go to
yeah.
Hawaii. Was there for
Oh, you
that.
did go to Hawaii.
Dang.
Yeah,
I'm
went to
telling you, he was
Hawaii.
a super fan. I forgot you
Wow.
went
Yeah,
to Hawaii.
Yeah,
was for sure.
I wasn't on the team yet. So Braden, you've taken more trips with Aggie soccer, fun ones it sounds like, than I did, because I never went to Hawaii. So
I picked the fun ones for sure,
that is
You
so
did.
fun.
Oh,
and
that's
did
so
go
awesome.
skydiving on that trip.
Yeah, like I don't have to play the games when I go on these trips, so I get to make the most.
The
Wow.
vacation.
That is
That's so
so
awesome.
great.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Do you
good.
guys ever like take time to reflect on where you guys are now and compared to where you guys used to been, like just reflecting on the whole journey of meeting in college and the transition out of college to the draft, and now you guys are both parents to a beautiful, the cutest son
Beautiful
ever.
boy.
Like, don't ever stop posting pictures of him on Instagram. But
So
do you
cute.
guys ever kind of think back to like, wow, like how did we get here?
For sure, there's been multiple conversations we had that would start with, I did not think that this would ever come to this at all. But we're very glad it did. Like you said, that kid is he's a handful at times, but it's the best handful that you could ever imagine. Like he's so much fun. He's at the point now where he's grabbing on, pulling up on things, walking behind stuff, and he's just on the move. So it's crazy at the house, but we love it. It's a blast. A lot of times when we get like in the off season, we go back home. Our office area's got one of my jersey up on it, her soccer jersey's up beside it, my draft card's up over there beside that, and then her diploma's up there beside that too. So we kind of have all of our Aggie stuff into professional baseball stuff all up on the walls in there. She had a big picture frame that was filled with every ticket of baseball games that she went to in like all 3 years. It has all of those with different pictures and like news articles and clippings in there. It's a big picture frame. We have that hung up in there too. So
That is
our
so
office space is
cute.
kind of our reminiscing spot.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love that.
That is so
That's
great.
cute.
So, Braden, we have had one professional athlete come and talk. Her name's Barbara. She plays for the Houston Dash. But we have somewhat, obviously, different sports, so different kind of professional journeys. But we have not had the opportunity to talk with someone about what that balance is between having a family and also playing professionally. So, kind of run us through what that has been like for you starting, like also in that minor league process. Like what has the balance been like between family and also a professional sport being your job?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to kind of be able to forget that you play a professional sport once your day is over and you go home. So many times have I taken whatever happened in a game back home with me, and I have to try my darndest not to do that because I have to realize that I have a family to take care of once I get home as well. Um, and at the end of the day, they don't care how it went. That's the next thing is we play a day game during, and I am not any good. And I walk in the door and my son's crawling up to me with the biggest smile on his face like that. At the end of the day, that's a win for me. I um, think about baseball the rest of the day. Um, and that's been a big not struggle for mine, but something that I've really focused on for a little while now is not taking work home with you. Work when you're at work and be home and be a husband and a father when you're at home. So those are kind of the biggest things. The balancing stuff, it's not easy. Obviously, leaving Emily at home to have to take care of him for most of the day, it's not fun. I don't enjoy that part. I don't enjoy going on the road near as much as I used to. Used to love going on the road, seeing new cities, doing new things. But now, when it's 6 days at a time, week at a time, and you don't get to see your son and don't get to see your wife, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But then again, that's what makes Emily so special is being able to do that while I'm on the road doing kind of chasing my dream. And she's the biggest supporter that I have. And like I said, I love her for it.
Oh, love it.
Amazing.
That is so amazing. And I also, too, if we can talk about kind of what that minor league experience, obviously, we're going to get into the current. at some point here. But let's talk about what that minor league experience was like for you. Like kind of giving us some inside scoop on what that grind is like and how tedious it can be.
Yeah, tedious is a really good word, because it feels like you're doing the little small details every single day.
Mhm.
Every day. We have right now, starting last year was the first year we did it, but we have Mondays off. So we play 6 days in a row with Mondays off. But my first couple of years, that wasn't the way that it was set up. And it was really 2 off days or so a month. You play 3 games or 4 games, get on a bus, drive wherever you're going to go, get in at 2, 3 in the morning, get up, play that day, play for the next 3 days, get on a bus, drive home, sometimes you'll get there at 2, 3, sometimes you get there at 5 in the morning,
Wow.
play that night. There's some road trips that we've had here where we've played at we played at 6 o'clock on July the 3rd. Got done. That game got delayed. Actually, got done super late. I think we got done at 10 o'clock or so, and then we got back to the hotel. By the time we got changed, packed everything back to the hotel was about 11ish. Had a 5 o'clock bus to the airport in the morning. Left at 7:30. Got back here about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then had a 7 o'clock game the same night here.
Oh my
So
God.
there
Oh
are
my
times when the
gosh.
travel's tough, and there's other times when it's really not terrible, not too bad. But all anybody wants to talk about is the times that it was not fun.
Yeah.
Makes it sound a little worse.
But what about
Did
for
you?
you? Oh, sorry, Carl, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I wanted to like kind of dive a little bit deeper into that since, this is behind the number. Do you mind like kind of sharing if between that transition from collegiate to minor league and minor league to major league, were there ever any like thoughts of doubts of like, is this the path I'm supposed to be on? Is this the way that I'm supposed to go? Do I need to keep going? Because I have heard like you are a first baseball professional athlete on. So, and from what I've heard, that transition is a lot of consistency, like you said, and persistence and tediousness. So if have you had any doubts? And if you did, what kind of made you keep going?
Yeah, no, definitely have. There's been multiple times where I've sat down and thought to myself, what am I doing here? Why am I still doing this? Is this really worth it? You could be
Mhm.
at home with your family right now. Your whole family could be back in Texas right now. You guys could all be together, but here you are doing this every day. Um, just because there's other times I look and I see how hard it is on my family too. It's not like if I'm struggling at the field and I'm struggling to be a best father and husband that I can be. If I feel like I'm struggling at both of those, sometimes I'll sit down and be like, "What are you doing? Why are you putting yourself and your wife and your kid through this when you could go back home, find a job, everything would be a lot easier. You could sit down and have dinner every night with your family."
Right.
That sounds so nice sometimes. Um, and then as soon as that kind of happened, that was when I started to feel that and started to think about that. Um, that's when I got called up, actually, believe it or not. It was right then. It gives you another little
Wow.
boost of this
Oh
is
my
what you
God.
do it for. This is why you're doing what you're doing. Um, I don't know. It's I don't think it's a coincidence that that's the timing of all of
I
that.
don't
So
either. And I'm pointing it
Mhm.
to the man upstairs.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, that
How
is.
is that? Go ahead, Allie.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I mean, like, what was that moment like? I mean, obviously, I feel like at one point it has to be relief, excitement. Like, what was that experience like with all the emotions that probably were going through your head at that time?
Yeah, it was actually, like I said, it's not a coincidence again here, but I wasn't awake at the time that they called me. I wouldn't have been awake. But I think we had either had an early game the day before or a day off, and I knew Emily was getting up early. He kept getting up early. So I told her, I said, "Hey, I'll sleep in the room with him. I'll get up early with you guys, and I'll help you. You can take a shower in the morning, do what you need to do, and I'll take care of him." So he got up 7:45 or so. Um, maybe closer to 8 o'clock, but regardless, he got up and we were moving around in the morning, and got him some food, and was just about to change his diaper, like laid him down, change his diaper, change his clothes. When my phone rang, I saw who it was, and I was like, "That's weird. Why do they call me at 8:30 in the morning?" So then I answered it. The whole phone call unfolded. They kind of told me or our manager actually is when they ended up telling me, and I don't remember what exactly I said. Something along the lines of "No way, like you're kidding." And Emily walked in the room and was like, "What's going on?" And that's when I told her. She starts crying. I'm starting to tear up.
Oh,
She grabs the kid, changes the diaper real fast, and off we went. So it was, like I said, I normally wouldn't have been awake at that time. For some reason, I
Right.
told her, "Hey, I'll get up this morning and I'll help you, and we'll knock this stuff out. And once he takes a nap, we can kind of have our time to ourselves."
Oh my
that
God.
is so special.
That is,
That's
I love
so
hearing stories
special.
like that.
You made me
I
want to
love
start
hearing stories
crying.
like that. I know. And I really do
Yeah,
believe, like, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason,
absolutely.
and everyone's timing is like just within their own, like really not to compare timing and everything. So I love hearing stories like that, just for you especially, but it's also like inspiring for me and whatever I'm dealing with, just to stay persistent and, stay focused on myself and on the right path. So, oh my gosh, that's such a great
That's so.
story, Braden.
And
That just
Braden,
made me
where
so
were you
happy.
guys when this happened?
We were in our apartment.
And
We
where
were
was
in our
that
apartment,
located?
about 15-20 minutes from the stadium that I'm at right now. It's about
Okay.
35 minutes from the big league stadium.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So still close.
Yeah, we weren't too far away. And then I had to, like I said, I called my family, and my mom didn't answer. She was outside doing something. My little sister was asleep. My older sister answered. My dad answered. But my dad was actually at the conference tournament with his team,
Oh.
and he bailed on him and came to the game.
Oh.
I feel like that's a good reason though.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, they knew that was a possibility. So once it did happen, his assistant coach texted me and said, "I got the boys. Your dad's on his way." So
Oh, that's
Aw,
sweet. That's
that
yeah,
so
is
sweet.
sweet.
And so you had a big crowd show up for you. You had a lot
I
of
was
the
gonna
family
say,
come.
yes,
I know Carl, I'm sure too, saw the photos. So special.
yes.
yeah,
Even friends
yeah.
coming to
Mhm.
support. So
Lots of friends and family.
yeah, so for you, I mean, I feel like that, what was that like being able to, one, you have your immediate family, you have Emily, you have Micah that you get to share this excitement with, but then you have family and friends come in that too. So what was that like? Even the photos, I'm like cheering on from afar. I'm like, wow, I
Yeah.
feel I feel even excited talking
I
about
was
it.
in the
But
comments. I was in the comments like, oh my
yes.
God.
It was it's overwhelming, to be honest with you. Not in a bad way, but in a nothing but a positive way. Just the amount of support, and like I know deep down, like, hey, I have a lot of people that believe in me, that want me to do well, and all this, that, and the other. But the time actually comes, and just you get flooded with text messages, you get flooded with phone calls, and then you have, what was it, 20 some odd people fly to Atlanta, Georgia from wherever we are in Texas to be able to share that moment with you. It's really special. You try I almost feel bad because, like, after the game, I'm trying to give everybody enough time, enough of your time,
Right.
because they come all the way out there to see you. Um, and there's just not enough time there's enough time to give everybody a hug, say thank you, but to really be intentional with that time and be able to talk to everybody, it's not possible. So you kind of walk away going, man, I had to talk to them long enough. Dang, I didn't talk to that person long enough either. But I told Emily some of these things. She's like, look, they just wanted to be here to see
Yes.
you and to see this moment. So it's really like, don't feel bad about it. So I mean, obviously that was good to hear.
Yes, that was a
Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful thing to see. It really
that
was.
was.
It was special. It was
And
really
Braden,
special.
can you kind of talk about the emotions and the feelings of like your first moment in Truist Stadium? Like, how was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, the good news was that I got to play a lot of the spring training games with a lot of the guys, so I already knew most of the guys, or I knew all the guys kind of in the infield. Like, had a pretty decent relationship with them. Like, not anything to where you walk out there and you're kind of starstruck by your own teammate,
Right.
type of thing. Um, so there was a little bit of a comfortability thing, kind of going out there. Look to my left and see Ozzy over there. He's cracking jokes, which was great because was nervous wreck. Austin Riley's over on my right, kind of giving me this side eye. It's funny because It's funny because I go at my first at bat and just swinging out of my shoes. I think I strike out, and I walk back into the dugout, and Austin Riley goes, "Yeah, who cares? You got 3 more." I was like,
Oh,
"All right, that's good."
Oh, that's
that is
awesome.
great.
Yeah, well, I do that, and then the coaches look at me and they all go, "Hey, that way you get your swing off, nice." I was like, "All right." So here we go. Now
Oh,
that kind of took a little bit of the, all right, you got that out of the way. The nerves are kind of out of the way. But like I said, people ask me like, when did you feel like you were in the game or whatnot? I tell them not until I got the first ground ball in like the 6th inning. I couldn't feel my legs until then. Felt like I was
so
floating.
this is kind of a little random question, but which made you feel the most nervous, if you remember, your first collegiate game or this?
Oh, that for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, probably there is no comparison, really and truly.
The only reason I would say that though, I don't know because not the first one, but our first game in Omaha was pretty nerve wracking. I'll say that.
Oh,
Big, that's a
yeah.
big stage too.
Yeah, that was a big stage. We're playing against Louisville, who was really good. We weren't the only thing that helped in that one is we weren't expected to win any of those games. So it was like, if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. We
Yeah.
just keep going.
Yeah.
But no, that was probably the first time that I've legitimately can say I didn't know I couldn't feel my legs.
That is so wild. It's
And
nice to
Braden,
hear. Sorry.
no, go
I was
out.
just going to say super fast. It's nice to hear that. I feel like the kind of like reassurance you were receiving from your teammates and your coaches, that does have to help a ton. Like take some of those nerves away. And it's cool to hear that even at such a high level, you still receive that from the people around you. So that's really cool.
There's still people.
Yeah.
And just as silly as you are, you can see. That's so funny. Braden, before we start to transition to our exit, because we don't want to hold you for too long, I just wanted to ask, how did it make you feel seeing 8 Braves players make the All-Star team this year? Like, was that inspiring for you and your future and just what you've been through recently?
I mean, yeah, it's really cool to obviously be able to say you played with 8 guys that went to the All-Star game. I mean, the way that the organization kind of approaches everything and the players that we have here, obviously everybody on the outside can see that it's a special group of people. We even have guys like we'll have a bunch of guys that we'll sign throughout the year and they'll come in and be like, man, this organization is way, way better than any other one that I've been in. So it's really cool to hear that and to see all those guys succeed. Like there's not a guy on that team I'm not a bad person, but there's not a guy on that team that you look at and you're like, yeah, that's not a guy that I want to be around. Everybody's super nice, super welcoming, fun to be around. They make the locker room a lot of fun. So my couple weeks out when I was there, the locker room was a blast. Everybody was a blast to be around. Coaching staff to clubhouse managers to just everybody in the clubhouse was fun to be around. So it was good.
And real quick too, you play with AJ Minter now, who also played at A&M. So what is that like? You have a fellow Aggie on your team.
Yeah, it's really cool. I actually have a picture of from a series when we were in Texas. I have a picture of AJ and I standing on the line during the national anthem, and we both have our gigs up behind our backs. So
that's so cool.
That's so awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, so somebody sent me that picture, and but yeah, I sent it to him and was like, hey, I told you somebody, because it was funny because we were standing there and I looked at him and I said, somebody's definitely getting a picture of this. Just joking. Just messing with him. And I got a text like
I told you so.
20 minutes after the game with that picture, and I showed it to him. I said, see, I told you.
That is so great. That is awesome.
A&M. There's always someone taking pictures at A&M. So
oh yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, before I ask you about your cheesy tagline, we wanted to ask you some fun, kind of like rapid fire random questions.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. All right. First one, since you're a family man now, so do you want Micah to play soccer or baseball when he grows up?
I say soccer. My wife would say baseball.
Really?
Okay, I could see how that would make sense.
I could see that.
Maybe both. Dual athlete.
I mean,
dual athlete. Yes.
We both agree that we would rather him play golf though.
Okay, fair.
Oh, golf is a good one.
That's a great sport.
Okay.
Well, if he plays with him,
and plays baseball,
go watch him in cool places.
Exactly. But he has 2 built-in coaches for the other sports, so he's doing just fine.
He is. Okay, sunflower seeds or peanuts?
Sunflower seeds.
I choose sunflower seeds too. Bluebell Park or Trius Park?
Mmm,
Ooh.
that's tough. Bluebell.
Wait, one throw in.
Ooh.
Bluebell or Ellis?
Ellis, for sure.
Ellis, duh. He went to Hawaii, Ellis.
True.
True.
College Station or Atlanta?
College Station.
Wow, I thought you were gonna say Atlanta.
Interesting.
No, not even close.
You don't like Atlanta?
I don't mind Atlanta. I hate the traffic one.
Oh yeah.
And there's still I don't know. It's College Station is a lot. It's a lot nicer. Let's just say
I was
that.
gonna say that Texas
especially from where.
hospitality.
Well, yeah, it's a lot nicer, like, especially like where we're living right now. Like our apartment complex is okay. It's not great, but it's not. I mean, it's not near what College Station is like.
College Station. That makes sense. That's a good reason.
C-Stat.
Last one. We hope you know we hope you know what these are. It's again maybe like based on Micah, but Bluey or Coco Melon?
See, he's actually a Miss Rachel fan.
I told Carl that yesterday. My nieces watched Miss Rachel.
That he cannot do
obsessed.
anything.
Oh my
without.
gosh.
I can't even change
Obsessed.
his diaper. If I don't have Miss Rachel on the phone, he crawls across the bed and tries to jump off the bed.
Okay, seriously, Braden, I said that to Carl. I go, yeah, I don't know. My nieces watch Miss Rachel, and she scares me. Hopefully, Miss Rachel's not watching this right now, but
I hope not, but
she
she
creeps
scares
me
all
out.
of us. Okay, it's not just you.
I need to look her up after
That
this.
is so,
It's
yeah,
Miss Rachel
No,
person.
you're gonna get scared too.
you will.
Scared?
You'll have nightmares.
How is she for the kids, but she's scary?
She's perfect for the kids. She does
It's
these.
just like, yeah, it's so outgoing and so like, I don't know how to do it.
Cringy.
Yes, that it's perfect, but you'll dream about it and you'll want to hit her.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Like
not
through the
wrong.
phone, obviously.
He's
You
not
want to
wrong.
like punch the screen.
I'm literally YouTubing her after this,
Yeah.
after I get off.
Yeah,
Do you
you'll
know what
definitely wanna
Bluey?
hit
Do you
the
watch
screen.
Bluey? Bluey is good though.
Bluey is good, but he doesn't want to watch anything but Miss Rachel.
Oh my gosh. Maybe he'll grow out of Miss Rachel and go on to.
I don't know.
We did watch 20 minutes of Moana the other day and about
Oh.
20 minutes of Frozen. So we got those two.
See, my oldest niece she's 2, and she still is Miss Rachel fan, like telling the remote that doesn't even have like the sound thing, play Miss Rachel, play Miss Rachel. Nothing's happening. She just is obsessed with Miss Rachel.
Oh, that's what I have to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
funny.
gosh.
Okay, we'll let you. Okay, last one. Well, this is not random or rapid question. That was the end of that. But shout out Miss Rachel. But last question, Braden. We always like to ask our guests if they have a cheesy tagline or a special quote that resonates with them or that they look at daily or means a lot to them. Do you have one? And if you do you mind sharing it with us?
Yes. Mine would be, I always say a lot, be where your feet are. Be where your feet are. That is because of the nature of the game that I play. And the uncertainty as far as, and this was really what I was thinking more in spring training and before that I had gotten called up, because it's really hard not to look forward to all of that, right? It's hard not to, man, when I get here, I'm going to do this. When I do this, I'm going to X, Y, I'm going to get to Z, right? And if you can just take a step back and be where your feet are and control what you are doing on a day-to-day basis, then the rest of it will kind of take care of itself. So that's kind of my thing.
Love it.
I like that one.
I love
and
that
it is
quote.
a little bit of a play on baseball. I get it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I think that's important for everyone to realize in their life. When you're not where your feet are, you're not taking advantage of the moment that you have. So I love it.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Not in the present.
Yes.
All right, Braden. Well, thank you so much for getting on with us. This has been a great interview with you.
Yes.
And just thank you so much for being vulnerable and transparent with us and just sharing about your journey. And we're so proud of you. And you've earned it. And everything you've been through is worth it. And
You're gonna
we are
do
just
so
cheering
great.
from you. Yes, we're cheering from afar for you always. And tell Emily she makes a beautiful mother. I'm sure she's doing a great job. And give Micah a little hello from us as well. But thanks again just for sharing your time with us. And just getting on with us. It's been great.
It's been so great.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. It was a blast.
Yes, thank you. You rock.
No, you guys
Good
are
luck
better.
tonight.
Yes,
Thank you.
good luck.
We have 2 of them today, so
Oh.
it's gonna be a long one.
Well, good luck with
It's gonna be a long
both.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Behind the Number, and we will see you guys next time.